Helen Adams Keller was born June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. She was the first of two daughters born to Arthur H. Keller and Catherine Adams Keller. Keller was born with her senses of sight and hearing and started speaking when she was just 6 months old and walking at the age of 1. Taken directly from her autobiography, Helen Keller says, "The beginning of my life was simple and much like every other little life." However, she became deaf and blind at just 18 months. She contracted an illness called, by a family doctor, brain fever. The true nature of the illness remains a mystery today, though some experts believe it might have been scarlet fever or meningitis. Keller learned to live through her hands. They felt every object and observed every motion. A shake of the head meant no, a nod meant yes, a pull meant come, while a push meant go. Because of her desire for communication, her parents hired a tutor and companion named Anne Mansfield Sullivan. Keller regards the day Annie came into her life as the most important day of her life. Many people have heard of the trials and tribulations of Annie Sullivan and Helen Keller through works such as The Miracle Worker. Her education was extensive. Keller loved learning new things. Studying seemed more like play than work for her. What many children think of with dread as a painful plodding through grammar, hard sums, and harder definitions is today one of my most precious memories. In 1890, Keller began speech classes at the Horace Mann School for the Deaf in Boston. She would toil for 25 years to learn to speak so that others could understand her. From 1894 to 1896, she attended the Wright Hugh Mason School for the Deaf in New York City. And around this time, Keller became determined to attend college. In 1896, she attended the Cambridge School for Young Ladies. As her story became known to the general public, Keller began to meet famous and influential people. One of them was writer Mark Twain, who was very impressed with her. The two soon became very good friends. He introduced her to his friend Henry H. Rogers. Rogers was so impressed with Keller. He was impressed with her talent, with her drive, and with her determination. He agreed to pay for her to attend Radcliffe College. By this time, Keller had mastered several methods of communication, including touch-lip reading, braille, speech, typing, and finger spelling. With the help of Sullivan, Keller wrote her first book, an autobiography, A Story of My Life. It covered her transformation from childhood to 21-year-old college student. In 1904, at the age of 24, Keller graduated from Radcliffe. After college, Keller set out to learn more about the world and how she could help improve the lives of others. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, Keller tackled social and political issues including women's suffrage, pacifism, and birth control. She testified before Congress strongly advocating to improve the welfare of blind people. In 1915, along with renowned city planner George Kessler, she co-founded Helen Keller International to combat the causes and consequences of blindness and malnutrition. In 1920, she helped found the American Civil Liberties Union. Soon after she graduated from college, Keller became a member of the Socialist Party. It was during this time that Keller first experienced public prejudice about her disabilities. For most of her life, the press had been overwhelmingly supportive of her, praising her courage and intelligence. But after she expressed her socialist views, some criticized her by calling attention to her disabilities. One newspaper, the Brooklyn Eagle, wrote that her mistakes sprung out of the manifest limitations of her development. In 1936, Keller's beloved teacher and devoted companion of 49 years, Annie Sullivan, died. Through her many speeches and appearances, Helen Keller brought inspiration and encouragement to millions of people. During her lifetime, she received many honors and recognition of her accomplishment, including the Theodore Roosevelt Distinguished Service Medal in 1936, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1964, and the election of to the Women's Hall of Fame in 1965. She also received honorary doctoral degrees from Temple University and Harvard University. Keller died in her sleep on June 1, 1968, just a few weeks before her 88th birthday. During her remarkable life, Keller stood as a powerful example of how determination, hard work, and imagination can allow an individual to triumph over adversity. By overcoming difficult conditions with a great deal of persistence, she grew into a respected and world-renowned activist who labored for the betterment of others. The reason why we chose to speak about Helen Keller was because she was a little person who pushed through no legislation, changed the course of no scientific discipline, declared no war, Teachers love to talk about her, but just as the blind and deaf girl who overcame her physical handicaps, an inspiration to young school children. But teachers, as well as historians and filmmakers, have left out, completely disregarded her actual biography, and left out the lessons she specifically asked us to learn from. Keller, who struggled so valiantly to learn to speak, has been made mute by history.